let's go ahead and get started. Others can come in. A lot of people watch this on the recording anyway. It's a lot more convenient that way, but I appreciate those that are on this special session that I'm going to do tonight. This is going to be a market update, and it's kind of very important because people need to be aware that the forbearance has ended. Okay, see this here? The White House said in a statement that all three federal agencies, these are the ones that run the different type of government loans, you know, the FHA, the VA, the Fannie Mae, that those foreclosure bans uh, will end at the end of July. Okay, and they did. That's July 31st. And so those did end. They have put in place a foreclosure process. The banks are in the process of foreclosing. That doesn't mean you snap your fingers and they're at the courthouse steps. Okay, you know, every state's got its own process and procedure that you have to follow, and that's what's taking place. I will probably do an update next month on the actual CFPB, the Consumer Protection Board, of their 200-page regulations for the foreclosure process and what's required of the banks to actually take the homes back. And they are being very aggressive with it. They have, I will show you in the articles as we go through, so I don't want to just, you know, summarize the whole thing here, but basically they've got a process they have to go through. And so I'm going to run through the general state of where we're at in the market. So announcement, okay, foreclosures ended on July 31st. Foreclosure moratorium ended on July 31st, okay? And I'm just moving around some of my boxes here with it. So, you know, just throw a question into the chat box, which would be great. And I will look over occasionally to answer any questions that may be there. Or if this is posted somewhere else later, just, you know, like I've got a private Facebook, you know, group that I have where I do post and things daily. Okay. And so, you know, if you're happen to be part of that group, you know, over here, we answer questions daily. So just feel free if you're watching this later to, you know, ask any questions, but I want to move on and show where we are with foreclosures in the United States, specifically short sales. So, you know, for those that might not know, a short sale is where you owe more on the house than what you can sell it for. If you try to sell your house and list it on the MLS and sell it, you won't have enough money to pay off the debt. Okay, and now that's not just the first mortgage. A lot of people forget that. It's all debt. It's a judgment from credit cards. It's a home equity line of credit. You know, it's any kind of taxes you owe, tax liens, federal and state. Of course, the municipalities, your water, sewer bill, you know, your HOA, your super lien. So it's all the debt, and people forget that. And I'm not going to run through who David Randolph is tonight. You guys are part of this group. You can go and look at slides. You know that, you know, I'm a real estate investor. I'll give you my 30, 60-second, you know, intro and skip all the slides and stuff like that. But basically, you know, my name's David Randolph. I rehab about 5 to 10 houses a year. All my renovated houses listed on the MLS, you know, under 265,000 have sold in 7 days or less at list price or higher for 10 years, including the one I just closed on last Monday, where they wired me $200,000 to my account with it. So the track record is still intact. I make $50,000 to $150,000 profit on each house, and these are $250,000 houses and everything. But anyway, you know, I also lend out money. You know, the profit I make is by negotiating short sales with the bank. You know, short sales as an investor. These are not short sales on the MLS. So anyone listening to this, you know, needs to be reminded that I'm not teaching you to process short sales. There's plenty of national companies that process a short sale for you. Okay, but I'm teaching you to be an investor to make the $50,000 to $150,000 profit on each short sale. Okay, so that's very special and unique what I'm teaching, people to do with it. I'm also a hard money lender. I've been so blessed that I've got almost 3 million in my retirement accounts. I lend that out to other rehabbers all across the United States. I'm unique. My heart and passion is to lend you all the money to buy it, all the money to fix it up, all the money for the points on the loan, and all the money for the monthly interest payments. So that if you got $0 in your checking account, then financially you're ready to go. So keep that in mind when you're doing short sales. I got a lot of questions from people saying, well, I can't do short sales because I don't have any money. The bank wants to be paid cash. Okay. And that's true and it's not true. You offer on your purchase sale contract cash, but you don't close in cash. You can close with a loan. And so, I'm a resource for you to close on those short sale loans. When you're making so much money on it, you can get anybody to lend you the cash. You can get a loan out on the day of closing. All nationwide, every single state has its own MLS system, its own contracts. And those purchase sale contracts say that you are allowed, even though you say financing is cash, you're allowed to get financing on the day of closing, as long as you don't change the other terms of the contract. So just keep that in mind. A lot of questions lately have been coming in from people about they don't have any cash and you don't need it. Okay, so anyway, July 31st, the forbearance moratorium ended. Okay, so now what does that mean? What's going to happen as far as where we're at? How many people are there? What's going on? Okay, so this is our July employment preview. And throw any questions into the chat box there if you want. Throw your contact information in there too with it, your rehab or wholesaler, your contact info, what city, state you're in. And stuff. And if you're looking at this later, throw it in the comment field below. Let's share ideas and share information. It's about relationships. So now, one of the critical things that you have to look at is we'll go through the quantity of foreclosures that are out there, but what's an overriding factor in a short sale? Okay, well, that is the unemployment. Okay, if you don't have a job, you can't pay your mortgage. So it doesn't matter, what kind of loan modification the bank might get you. So if you hear the news where people do a loan mod, you don't qualify for one if you have no job. So let's track the unemployment going on in the country. Okay, so quickly now, remember I said that I've got a Microsoft Word file here with all these links and a little short description of what I said about each one of them. Okay, and so you text the word short to my phone number, and I will send that to you. Okay, and I'm going to drop my contact info in the chat box. Okay, and you text short to my phone number. Now I'm busy right now, I can't send it to you, but text short and I will send you that Word file with all the links. Okay, with it. So, and then if you're in my short sale profits group, I will just post it in the Facebook group. But anyway, 6.8 million fewer jobs than there were pre-pandemic. That's the key here. Okay, there are 6.8 million fewer jobs. Okay, and so that means there's a lot of people that still don't have a job. Now, how many were in apartments? How many were in houses? We'll dig through that here. I've got a lot of articles across the top of this screen. But basically, it just shows that we have not recovered from the pandemic, that we still have got a situation, with, jobs not being there. Let's go to the next one here. Okay. So this one is talking about where do you find these seriously delinquent mortgages that have been in the 18-month forbearance? Where are they at? Okay. I give you guys real facts. I'm a engineer and I do a lot of analysis. I do this stuff every day, and I'm just pulling together a few articles here for you. And I know it'll overwhelm some of you, but it's just, that's why I kind of summarize it real quickly for you. You can read through the articles yourself. But here is something very important to know. By vintage, okay, the loans made well, here, let me just hone down on what you guys need to know. For loans made in 2005 through 2008, okay, 8.75% of those loans are seriously delinquent. That number is catastrophic. To say that almost 1 out of 10 people, in this range, or sorry, with this Fannie Mae loan, that those people are seriously delinquent. That means they're more than 120 days. Matter of fact, we'll see later that there's 1.74 million people that are basically 15 to 18 months delinquent. That's real seriously delinquent. And so that's kind of what's been happening with the forbearance. They say it's coming down, but it's the seriously delinquent's rising. Okay, so what's happening is they're all moving from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days to 120 with it. And so, you're getting a much higher percentage of the critical component people that are subject to foreclosure, which is, basically in 90 days. So go back, and look at this here. This is what you want to target for marketing. Now, I'm not going to do marketing letters tonight. Go back and look at some of my previous videos or something on marketing. Or different places that I do training on marketing. That's not tonight. Tonight is just an important night with the forbearance ending just 3 weeks ago. You need to know how that changes everything in short sales. So this gives you a target of who you want to mail your letters to. Okay. So anyway, let's move on quickly. Okay, so this was an article dated July 30th. So, my last, my last market update was, in July, early in July. So this came out right after that. And so this is really important. Look at this here. 6.3% of FHA loans, okay, are delinquent. So it's not 10%, but basically, almost, 1 out of 8 loans in America. Now we're looking across America, not a date range, but we're looking, take all FHA loans in America. Okay, 6% of them, 1 out of 8 loans is delinquent, is in forbearance. Okay, and so that's a terrible number. Now notice this here, Fannie Mae, it's only 2%. Okay, and then over here, these are basically portfolio loans, and they're 4.4%. Okay, so you want to target, these areas here. Come down here. This is important, and I'm not going to do the math right now. I posted this article on my private Facebook group where I took this. Here's the average monthly payment and taxes and insurance, and I calculated what does that come down to a value of home. What loan value is this average monthly payment for? Okay, and so that kind of tells you what range that you want to mail to. Okay, so you get letters and you mail to them, and that's another article. Text short, and I can give you a presentation that I've got on marketing, a free presentation. It doesn't cost anything, and I'll send you the slides. And but this calculates out to a certain mortgage value, like say 250,000. And I don't remember the number, so don't use that number, but that's telling you kind of where to target the people that you're going to try to help avoid foreclosure by doing a short sale. Okay, now this here, Black Knight, is a very interesting company that's brings together all the data from the forbearance people. So they collect all the data of who's been in forbearance, who went out, who came back in, what kind of loan type they are. And basically, real quickly here, on it, what I want to look at is that almost 1.45 million borrowers are more than 90 days past due. Okay, now they're not yet in foreclosure because the forbearance, okay, basically was, in place until July 31st. Okay, and so now that process is starting. Okay, to run them through. So, some states are judicial, some states are non-judicial. And so, of course, the judicial states, it will take them longer to get the houses back. But I want everybody to know on here that, a short sale is done when they miss one house payment. We've been doing short sales like crazy, my students, because in forbearance for 18 months, everybody in forbearance by definition missed a payment. That's why we're in forbearance. So we've been doing short sales left and right. You don't need a foreclosure date. That actually hurts you as an investor, because now you got to bust your butt to stop the foreclosure date. But what it does is it makes the homeowner pull their head out of the sand and say, oh my gosh, I got to do something now. And then they can't sell their house and pay off the loan. So now they got big trouble, and that's where they seek you out. There's 1.45 million of those people, in that position. Okay. And there's a lot of other good facts in here. We have to keep this to, 30 minutes max, hour max or something. So I don't like to run too long on these. And I got a lot of, articles to kind of go through, but you need to go back and read these. Okay. Like I said, text the word short to my phone number, 636-685-2990, and I'll send you that Word file with all these links and a short summary of what's, in here. But, there's a lot more good data in here that you can use for marketing purposes, and things like that. But basically, what's happened over 18 months is everybody went into this forbearance plan, and these people that lost their jobs have stayed in it the whole time. And yes, other people came in and other people came out. And so it dropped over time, but a core set of people went past 30, past 60, past 90, past 120 days, okay, late. And there's not even a term for 18 months. It's so ridiculous. And so what does that mean, guys? Okay. If you've missed 18 months of payments, you owe a lot of money, right? Okay. And I think I did on a previous month presentation. You can go back and look. I'm not going to repeat it here. But basically, those FHA loans, now this is data as of February 2020, just I'll repeat it verbally with it. And if you want the article, you can ask me for it. But as in February 2021, the delinquency rate and the underwater, short sale quantity. So, as I said, a short sale is when you owe more than what it's worth. How many homes are like that? Well, in February 2021, on FHA loans, 29%, 1/3 of all FHA loans in forbearance are underwater. They can't sell their house. And a lot of people say that the market's risen and it's gone up and there won't be any big deal. They're wrong. I'm telling you right now, they are wrong. Okay. And they're wrong because what happened is it's mathematical. Okay. To be underwater. Okay. So to owe more than what it's worth, generally they look at if you have if you're within 10% equity on your house, you go to list it, well, you lose 6% commission, closing costs. And so, the definition of a short sale or underwater, okay, is, something within 10%. 29% of all FHA loans in forbearance were short sales. Now, I stretch that definition to about 20% because I know a lot of homes have got, deferred maintenance, and they really aren't worth, what they think they are. And if you do that, go to 20% equity with it, then that is 49%. Half of all FHA loans in forbearance are underwater. That means they cannot put them on the market and sell it, okay, and stuff. And so, so that's really important to know that these people have been over the 18 months increasing. So back to the math real quick. Okay. It is the amount you owe minus, or, it's the amount that, you could sell the house for minus what you owe. And people say, well, what you could sell for has been rising, because of the great market. Well, what people don't understand is the second number is what you owe. It's been rising faster. They haven't been making any payments. Okay, so they owe a year and a half's worth of interest on their loan. Some of them can't even refinance because that principal owed is now principal plus the interest they haven't paid. Okay, so they can't even refinance it. They actually are truly underwater. So let's move on with it. So, okay, so this is this is a PDF file, okay? And all this stuff is legal. I didn't steal anything I'm showing you tonight, okay? So I haven't broken any copyrights. Everything I got off the internet or, through kind of some other method. But basically, Black Knight, has a monthly report they put out, okay? And that monthly report is always kind of behind. So the latest one that just came out August 2nd is for June, but it's very comprehensive. And we're going to run through it, and we will actually spend some time on it and everything. Yeah, so that's a good point. I do want to point out, I appreciate that comment. So correct, evictions are not mortgage forbearance. There's two separate things. The evictions through the CDC, those were extended out, okay, till October the something, okay, with it. And we're talking about mortgage forbearance, okay, the CARES Act mortgage, your loan, homeowners, not renters, okay, that ended July 31st and stuff. And so that's a good point with it and stuff. So anyway, on the Black Knight report here, this is a comprehensive report. I'll spend some time on it in a minute in the next slide, but the kind of big takeaway that they summarize for here, okay, and stuff is that the concentration of activity that's expiring, this year, especially, FHA loans, okay? So remember, I already said FHA loans really got bigger problems, okay? With it. They're underwater. They can't actually sell their home and do any good on it. And so there's these expiration matrices. When do these people end this 18-month forbearance actually, have a time frame of when they're out of it, and when are the banks going to foreclose on them, because they can't just do them all at once. Okay, there's a good statistic, and I'm going to put this together for a report later. And I'll be doing it in my private Facebook group, sooner, is that if they were to take all the people that are in forbearance that now ended and foreclose on them, okay, they would have to foreclose on 18,000 homes throughout the rest of the year. 18,000 homes, you ready for this? 18,000 homes per day to be able to foreclose on everybody to get them through, by the end of this year, over the next 4 or 5 months. That's because the quantity is so huge, to understand, that these, how much expires. So, and so that's, 1.2 million people through the remainder of 2021. There's actually 1.74 million. And some of those on this matrix chart that I'll show you will expire, and that's good for us, guys. We don't want them to happen. We don't want 18,000 a day, right? I mean, how many can you do? I can only teach so many people, and I can only teach you to do so many. Okay, so today 18,000 come up, and we've got say 20 people on the, on our group here, or my private Facebook group's got 80. Man, that leaves 17,000, 980, for today that we lost, and tomorrow there's another. So, they've got to stretch that out. We want them to stretch that out, okay? And they are. I was in a secret webinar with the CFPB and the banks, and they went through their tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 foreclosure structure with it, and so they are going to be doing that out. And so anyway, summarizing that, the bulk of these expirations, are coming earlier than anticipated. It is a large volume, and it's going to be a difficult thing to handle. So let's just take a look at that report. Okay, I mean, this thing is graphical, multiple pages, and it's 25 pages, and it's only produced monthly. And like I said, this came out on the August the 20th. So it's like really, it's not a July report because it's so comprehensive on it and stuff. And so I'm going to spend at least 10 minutes going through this, because there's so many key points to look at on here. And then you can go back and you can look at it yourself. Okay, so these graphs, let me go back to my Microsoft Word file here. I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, so we did the fewer jobs, 6.8 million. Homeowners, okay, I talked about that the FHA foreclosure rate 6.4% with it. The private loans are 4.4, which is pretty high. We've got 1.45 million that are more than 90 days behind. We talked about Fannie Mae. We got data from Fannie Mae of exactly what year the loans were originated, okay? I just want to make sure I haven't missed any key points, okay? Okay, so now here we are on this, okay? So yeah, so we've talked about that. So good, so I kind of brought us up to speed. So we're gonna kind of go through here in a bit of detail, at least 10 minutes, and make notes on this, go back and find this stuff and look at it. But this particular delinquency chart is showing the 30, 60, and 90-day people, okay? And so right here, this dark green line is your 90-day plus people. And it's hard for you to see probably on the webinar Zoom here, but this is July where my mouse is. That's July of 2020. Okay, and so you've got this dramatic rise here at the end of forbearance. That these number of people are in that seriously delinquent state. Okay, and here is where it's going to take. This is actually going all the way out. Let's see here, where are we at? Or sorry, no, this is July of 2020, because remember, this started in March of 2020. So this all started back in March, and then here, 90 days is very quick. And so for the past July to July, this is June here, so one full year from left to right, all the quantity of people that have been in here and pretty much just kind of remained. And that's where we're getting these, almost 2 million people in here. Now, of course, you still got the green and the aqua, that these are the people that, could become 90 days later. And so you always have some feed rate coming into it with it and stuff. And let's see what we've got here. Just another graphical representation of, the number of people getting cured. Okay. And so it's not a very high number. See, out of millions, you've only had, 200,000 people, that have gone from serious delinquent and somehow pulled things out. Now, this is really good state data. So we're going to drill down into a lot of data. I want something you guys can go back and use to fine tune your marketing system. Okay. Where you're at, what states, what counties. Okay. And so basically, this is, showing you that, basically about 2% of mortgage holders across the country are seriously past due. So, Missouri, it's 1.6, you've got Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas. Texas is 2.5%. Do we have any Texas people? I know I got short sale one-on-one coaching students in Texas. It's got 2 of the 10 cities, 2 of the top 10 cities in the United States with the highest foreclosure rate, okay, in there. So you can pick your state, where you're at on here. New Jersey's a really good place for it. Missouri's not so hot, but hey, look, I got $3 million in my retirement accounts from doing the short sales I do. I don't need, to have this number be really high. I just need enough to do 1 a month, okay? Give you a perspective on what's happened. Pre-pandemic, in my county, St. Charles County, there were, pre-pandemic, before the pandemic, there were 60 foreclosures a month. That's it, 60. I just needed 1. I do 5 to 10 a year, guys. You heard me say I do 5 to 10, and then I rehab them. And so there was only 60 foreclosures a month, and I would just pick up 1, no big deal on it. Due to forbearance and the quantity, there's 5 times that number now. Now in forbearance, they didn't have an actual foreclosure date, okay, but they were still delinquent and missed a payment, which made them a short sale. And you could do a short sale and buy their house, with their agreement. The quantity of these people now is 5x, what there was. You don't need 5x. It was fine, pre-pandemic, for me. But this gives you some state information. Here is some geography areas. Now, this is kind of talking about some, change in it, the quantity change. So you have to go and look at this later. Atlanta, Georgia's on here. So here's San Antonio and Houston, okay? And so, I was talking about Texas having two of the states. Atlanta, Georgia. Do you have any Atlanta, Georgia people? Okay, I bet I do. I know I got Georgia people in my short sale profits group on it. But anyway, I just want to reference this so you can go back and look at this. Okay. Now here, okay, past due mortgage payments in the billions. Okay, billions. How much money is owed? Let's say Mr. Magic Biden administration wants to wave a magic wand, okay? He's going to need a pretty dadgum big wand because he would have to wave $50 billion. Okay, you think they're going to let him take $50 billion and pay off everybody's, just the past due amount? This doesn't pay a mortgage off. Okay, this would just catch the people up. $50 billion, the banks have been eating it. You think the landlords are suffering in the eviction thing on it? Hey, don't forget about the banks. The bad guys are suffering too. Not just the good guy, not just us landlords, but the bad guys, the banks. People say the banks are the bad guys. Hey man, they're having to suck it up too here with this whole forbearance thing, and so that's why they're chomping at the bit. Just to give you a side note, personal opinion, why did Biden administration allow the mortgage forbearance to end July 31st? Here's my viewpoint on why. It's because we have no inventory. I'm a rehabber, okay? I'm rehabbing every house I got as fast as I can to get it on the market. There's no inventory of homes. And I'll go through that in a little bit here on an article about that and stuff. And so, the people that want to buy a home are crying out, say, we need more houses, we need more houses. So, there's nobody rooting for the homeowner that's in foreclosure right now because everyone wants them to put their house up on the market to sell it. Or they're not really saying, let's foreclose on it, but they're saying, get us more houses on the market. And when you end forbearance, it does one of two things. It forces people to sell their home and pay off their loan if they have enough equity, okay? And that's going to only be 70, only maybe 50 to 70% of the FHA loans. And then the rest of them, they want to sell their house, it won't pay the loan off. So now they become a short sale. But when that happens, if I can get enough investors taught how to do short sales, we're going to buy it. We're going to fix up and sell it. Okay. That house I just closed on last week. Okay. If you go onto my personal Facebook page, David Randolph III, I've got pictures of my house. Okay. I bought that house in a short sale for $58,000. Okay. On it. I put 32,000 in it. So I got 90,000 in it. Okay. Last week I sold it for $220,000. Okay. On it, so, we're going to fix these things up and we're going to sell them and get them out up there on the market. And now maybe it doesn't need fix up. And so I, then just clean it out and sell it to somebody else. I'm not living in my houses, right? So, if we can do enough houses, we can get them up on the market too. But anyway, this shows you the scope of the money here that's involved with it. Now this one here is showing you the dollar value per state. I don't think this is really too terribly useful here. Just, big states, owe more money than little states. So I don't think that's too particularly useful here. Now this is great. Look on the right side here, guys. Okay, if you can see this. Okay. Well, cool. Hey, I didn't know that would happen. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. So this is June of 2021. This is July of 2021. This is the scheduled forbearance plan expirations. Okay, this top number here is 700,000. So in July, we got 300,000 expiring. August, 400,000 expiring. And these are, 300 plus 400 plus 700. Okay, and it starts to taper off you know, when we get into, you know, December, you know, November and December. And I hope I can get back to my thing here. Whoops, I did, but I lost my spot. So let me scoot back down. So that's really something interesting to watch. Now, you know, the next report will come out and we'll see how that, you know, how that changes. This is based on June data. And on September the 2nd, they'll publish July data. So this is rock solid data. This isn't printed immediately. They're, you know, they got good data. Plan extensions by week, we'll skip that. This is what I want to show you here. Here's a matrix table, okay? FHA loans, VA loans, Fannie Mae loans, and the expiration month, okay, on here. So you can see, you know, when these months are going to be, you know, correcting on it and stuff. Yeah, let me drop, I'll drop my phone number in here. Oh, shoot, you know, hang on a second. You're right. I didn't send my thing to the group. You're right. Let me put that out there. Okay. So that's got my contact info out there. It's got my phone number, 636-685-2990. So text short and I'll send you the Microsoft Word file with all these links. Okay. So this has got your matrix table for each of the loan types and when those are going to be, you know, expiring and going off. The oversized share of FHA loans expiring this year is very bad. You know, you've already heard me talk about that. 65% of the active plans, okay, are set to expire over the rest of 2021. And so there's going to be a lot of those kind of loans you want to, you know, go after. And so we're running a little bit long on this recording here, so I apologize. So I think that I'm going to let you guys just go through and read this. You text short to me, I'll send you this PDF file where you can get it. But anyway, lots of good data. We're, you know, about 15 pages out of 25 pages in here. You know, there's just a lot more information that you can look at. So it's all meant to help you target your marketing. Okay, that's what we're really looking at, okay, is how do you target your marketing with it. So let's move on, okay. New home prices. So so this is a market update. It's about short sales, but we have to look at other factors and other things going on here with it. I talked about the unemployment rate, the permanently unemployed, the people that have no jobs to come back to, those kind of things. You can't do a loan modification, which is one of the workout methods. So come back next month in my report. I'm going to actually go through the 200-page regulation that dictates how the foreclosures take place. How many times the bank has to call the homeowner, how many times they have to send a letter, you know, and go and all that kind of information here. But, you know, what's the general market doing? Okay, so one of the things that we want to look at is new home prices, okay? And so, you know, when new home prices go up, okay, let's see if I can pop that screen up, if that will pop up for me. New home prices kind of dictate. So, you know, we have to have exit strategy, right? I can teach you how to buy houses super duper cheap, but what's your exit strategy? Okay. Well, you need to know the general market. And so one of the things you can look at is, you know, here's 2007 and 8, new home prices came down, and that basically was also driving down existing home prices. And then we kind of started to rise in 2012. Things got better. People stopped doing short sales. I never got the memo. I kept doing them, you know, because I am only doing 5 or 10 guys. This is not mass marketing. This isn't wholesaling 101. This isn't, you know, $5,000 a month on wholesaling. You know, 60 people a month is all I market to. Okay, you know, pre-pandemic with it. Here we saw that it flattened out in 2017 on new home prices, and then now with the pandemic, they're rising. And so that means this is a great time for you to be rehabbing houses and selling them and getting them back out there, because, you know, when you get the home finished, it's going to be worth more than when you started it, you know, and stuff like that. Just always remember to do it very quickly and stuff. So boy, we're running short on time here on it and stuff. Yeah, everybody, yeah, be sure. Yeah, so let me check and see. Yeah, so yeah, throw your contact info in there and everything like that. So moving on here. Okay, so this, so basically this report here actually has a PDF file with a lot more information in it about the new homes. These are new home constructions in what parts of the country. It's kind of dry. It's just for, engineer type people like me and everything like that. But the other thing was so that's, what's your exit strategy? You're very safe right now. And you know, I got coaching students that one guy, he just bought a house for $25,000 and he's putting 30 in it and selling it for 150. Just, one he bought a month ago. Another student bought a house for 28,000, just going to change the carpet and sell it for 125. Okay, so what's your exit strategy? What can you do with these houses? And this is really what you want to be aware of. Is that you're safe buying these houses. At these, of course, really cheap prices does help with it. But anyway, I mean, the point is, you may do a short sale on rentals. If you thought the market was going to turn down and you wanted to keep the house, then buy rentals. Negotiate a short sale on a rental house as your exit strategy. You can pick what you want to do the short sales on. Okay, this here, so we're kind of moving on to the general market. We're going to wrap this up here, but these are some important things. This is the $1 trillion this is the $1 trillion infrastructure plan that passed the Senate, not the 3 trillion thing, but the 1 trillion that passed the Senate. And let me check my notes over here, because in my Word file, I've got notes on this. Yeah, 1 trillion that passed. What will come of it in the House, and what future does it have since it passed the Senate? So I haven't looked in the news lately to see if it has passed the House yet. I know they were wanting to see the other infrastructure plan get passed there, but basically it doesn't matter. This passed the Senate, and at some point, these are the things that were in agreement by both sides of, the Democrats and the Republicans. And so some form of this is going to be, enacted. And so you kind of might want to be aware of how this affects the economy and particularly real estate and stuff. And so it's this is 2,700 pages. I'm not going to review it, but the link and that is in the Microsoft Word file, okay, and stuff. So we're gonna have to kind of wrap it up. It's almost coming up on an hour here with it. So you've got that. Something else. Okay, so PPP. Okay, just as a side note, you're all business people. You need to be very well aware of PPP. I posted a lot of articles on my private Facebook group, Short Sale Profits, about the PPP. I didn't get a lot of people money. I shared information with a lot of people, and a lot of people were able to take advantage of a situation that they needed to stay afloat and to keep them going. Here's what I want to point out that people don't know, okay, about the PPP. Okay, this PPP is, okay, first of all, for anyone who did get a PPP loan, anyone with a loan under $150,000 is forgiven almost with just the stroke of your pen. You just say that you spent the money on your business, and then you keep your documentation on your computer hard drive. You don't have to submit it, okay? And so the forgiveness application process is very simple for those with under $150,000 PPP loan. That was a Paycheck Protection Plan, which in essence kind of expired. What's new is the employee retention credit. This is going to blow your mind, guys. Okay, I bet you haven't read about this anywhere. Okay, so the employee retention credit basically is will let you get up to $50,000. Okay, that you don't have to pay back if you have a recovery startup business. What that is if you start a business, okay, after February 15th, 2020. So what's today? This is August 2021. Is that after February 2020? Yeah, it's after. Okay, start a business today. Okay, and you can get this employee retention credit of up to $50,000. Now, here's why this is so special, and you need to understand why I'm spending time on this. I love spending time. I post these articles all the time in that Facebook group because you can do that daily. But it is because it's not dependent on revenue. If anyone on here knows much about the whole PPP and CARES Act and all that stuff, you had to have a reduction in income. Okay. Well, I can tell you in real estate, my income has skyrocketed since the pandemic started. I didn't think that would happen. I actually thought I would lose my entire coaching program because I used to do live, trainings. And so no one could come to the hotel or the office or wherever I did these at and stuff. But basically, my income has not had a drop in income from one quarter from the previous quarter to qualify. This doesn't look at income. I'm going to repeat this. Start a business up, pay yourself up to $50,000 credit, and you don't have to have any revenue loss. Okay. There's no criteria for that. You just have to start a business up. Anyway, certainly contact me offline if you want to talk more about this. Okay. Now, in the slides, I give you the presentation. I give you the slides in front of you, and I give you the presentation from the accountant attorney that makes this presentation. So you have got the link for both of those in that Microsoft Word file. So I think everybody ought to, text short to my number so I can send that document to you and stuff. So anyway, let's kind of move on. We're wrapping it up here kind of thing. There is, okay, there's, this is kind of a neat one here. So I was actually interviewed by the Jennifer Hammond on YouTube on July 31st. She is the Sirius XM radio host for like 12 years. And I was honored to be interviewed by her on short sales. So you guys want to get that, that YouTube link is in that Microsoft Word file. I'm not going to put it up here because we're not going to watch the YouTube video. And that was Jennifer Hammond, if anybody knows her. And then just today, I was interviewed by Antonio Holman, okay, who runs the United States Real Estate Investor magazine. Okay, it's a digital magazine for real estate investors, and he released that interview today. That will be in that Microsoft Word file with it. Now let's kind of wrap it up. Let me check my short sale profit. So this is my private Facebook group. There's an article. I want to make sure that I talk about this one here. I think I've got it up, but so let me make sure. This is really one very important for you. Yeah, okay, so this is it. So I'm going to show you this, okay? You're all real estate investors. You're all calling people. You're all texting them. You're all cold calling, emailing, whatever you're doing. These are telephone laws that passed in June, okay? And in the Word file, I give you the link to this article that gives you all the rules and everything related to the new laws that are effective in June. The fine, so, you can't just call somebody, okay? Okay, so you're a real estate investor. If you have a phone number and you're going to talk to a homeowner, if they're on the do not call list, you are in trouble. And let me just nix this before anyone throws it in the chat box. Don't say, oh, but David, I'm buying a house. I'm not selling anything when I call them. I'm buying their house. No, read the TCPA definitions and rules. It's for anyone entering in any kind of commercial agreement, okay? You're making a commercial agreement to buy their house. It's not that you're selling widgets or selling a credit card plan or insurance plans. That's not what this is for. This is for commercial endeavors, talking to people that you don't have authorization to talk to. Okay, and so there's a thing called an SAN number, subscriber account number. Okay, and so that's where you register your phone number with the government that says that you are going to be making phone calls. Okay, now if you call somebody who is on that do not call list, and there's a lot of people on the do not call list, if you call somebody on that list and you're not registered, the fine I'm showing you here on my Facebook post, this is a private membership group, Short Sale Profits, but the fine is $43,000 per call. 43,000. Okay. If you register, if you go and register your telephone number and get a subscriber account number with it, then the fine is only $1,500. Okay, so they're really trying to make sure people register their telephone number with them, because the fine only drops to $1,500. Well, that's ludicrous. Who's gonna pay $1,500? You know, so you got to scrub your list against the do not call list. Okay, you've got to scrub it and don't call those phone numbers. Now, what teeth does this have? Here's the key to what's happening on this. This is crucial. The phone companies, AT&T, Verizon, they're enforcing it. Okay, they're the ones collecting the money. Okay, see, the government bureaucracy is so inundated with so many violations. Okay, they can't come after everybody, and they certainly don't come after the small guy like us. Okay, they go after the ones that you're pissed off that call you, right? Okay, you get calls all the time. You're pissed off at somebody there. That, you know, that's who they kind of go after. Well, not anymore. The phone companies have your telephone number. They monitor your text messages and your phone calls, and so they are the ones enforcing these rules. And when you take a entrepreneurial capitalist country and you hand it to a company to make money, you better darn well bet these guys are going to be collecting their fines and giving whatever percentage does probably go to the government side, but they're going to be enforcing it. There's a lot in that. So that's that, and so there's the article right here. Not an article, this is a website with a lot of stuff on the TCPA background, structure, what it all means. I'm not even a third of the way through the pages, okay, and it explains it for you. Okay, so you've got to get that. Here's a key. There's some positive aspects, guys. I want you to make a note of this, okay, that you can register your text campaign. So let's take texting. You register your text campaign with the phone company, and they will give it a trust rating. Okay, there's like 5 or 6 different levels, and if you get the approval at a high trust rating, you could text 10,000 text messages an hour. Huge number. Okay, if you're at one of the lowest trust ratings, you know, you can still do about 60 an hour. That's not bad. Okay, and then you won't be violating, you know, some of the codes. So you hear a lot about the TCPA laws. They are tough. You need to take them dead serious with it, because the phone companies are implementing systems to be able to get you. Remember, everybody that's using a telephone is using a telephone carrier, right? And the carriers are the ones in charge of it. So there's no hiding and no running with it and stuff. So anyway, you know, anyway, so you can get that document with all the, it's hard to do this and you can't see the website, so I put them in all Microsoft Word. So, you know, text short to my phone number, and then I will be able to get your email to send it to you, you know, to send that document to you. So we're gonna have to wrap it up. Gosh, it did take an hour with it. Throw any questions, you know, in the chat box. I think that, you know, we got some people sharing their contact information on it and stuff, but just throw them in real quick. We'll wrap it up here. You know, if you want to know more about short sales, thedavidrandolph.com is my website. You know, I also have an hour-and-a-half presentation that covers short sales in a bigger view that you can watch on your own, and I send you the slides. So anyone on here wants to know more about one of the greatest ways right now to buy houses in real estate. You know, it's a very small niche, but it's made me millions of dollars. And when I say I got 3 million in my retirement account, that's my money. I'm not a part of a syndication, and that's money my wife didn't spend. Okay, I made a lot more than that, and my wife spent it. Okay, and I spent it with her. Okay, in all fairness, but so that was pre-pandemic. So this is a great time when the greatest transfers of wealth uh, in the last 10 years is coming up, guys, because of this. And so really, I want you to keep coming back and getting training on this. There's different places you can go to. I'm in many different places that I coach people. I've got workshops. If you want to get into this hardcore, definitely, get a hold of me. If this is something you want to be serious about. Anyway, I appreciate it, guys. Are there any questions? I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up so we can honor our 1 hour time frame on this. Definitely contact me, with any questions about this. I want to help you in understanding it. I'm a chemical engineer. You get that hour-and-a-half presentation, then you can see, my background, and stuff like that. But, I love helping people. So anyway, that's about it, guys. I don't see any other questions in the chat box. If I missed it, throw it in there real quick and everything. But, I think that we've got probably, bankrupt. Okay, so it's something about bankruptcy. Yeah, the bankruptcy report is very interesting. My son is getting a degree in law school, and I said, hey man, you might consider going into that bankruptcy side of law school, because there's going to be a lot of people doing that, and that's great because we do short sales in bankruptcy. Okay, so that's fantastic. Now what happens is a lot of people incorrectly use it to stop the foreclosure. See, we can stop the foreclosure without bankruptcy. Okay, so just be aware of that. Get my hour-and-a-half presentation, text, like I said, text short to my number, and we can connect, and I can get you stuff for free, that I have that'll help, explain some of that stuff. But yeah, bankruptcy is going to be a real big thing because people don't have, much choice here with it. And so if it's in bankruptcy, guys, I can show you how to pull it out of bankruptcy and do the short sale. It's called a 30-day motion for relief of stay. And we can pull it right out of the bankruptcy into the short sale. So don't let that stop you. That's a good idea for a list. So thank you for that comment. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. This is David Randolph, your short sale profits, super group, leader here. Someone else gave me that name, but I do love short sales, and I really think that I know how to do them because they are unique, but I do make a lot of money at it. So to your success, guys, we will end that for the evening. Thank you very much.